And in today's video, we are going to talk about basically or responding to different questions that you have been telling me or you've been asking me in the comment section below. Okay, can you hear that? So I'll be responding to some of the questions that many of you have been asking. And once I enter into the comment sections below, the first question which I've just received today, someone is asking, can 36 grams, that's Max B, just in case you are live, can 36 grams espresso also be considered as a double shot, or I have to go higher? Basically, what is the difference between single shot and double shot? But before we get to the video, I just hooked in one of the coffee shops and I met a fellow brother from my country. Just say hi.
Hi.
He's called Mr. David, just in case you're watching. And I have another brother, what's his name?
Rocky.
Mr. Rocky, 1 minute, you say hi before I continue with my video. These are really nice baristas, just in case you've not yet missed. This is Barista Rocky. From which country? Nepal. Nice meeting you.
Okay.
Okay. So, in fact, the first question I have, that's Mr. Rocky. So let's get engaged into our questions. And just in case you have some questions, please feel free also to comment or ask any question. I'll be responding to it live. So Mr. Max B asked this question 2 hours back. Can a 30-gram espresso also be considered as a double shot, or I have to go higher? Basically, what is the difference between a single shot and a double shot? If I'm to understand this question, he didn't indicate whether the grams of the coffee grains or the dust of coffee or the yield after the extraction. But if I'm to understand this question, he's trying to mean the yield. Basically, 36 grams espresso. Now let me respond to you, Mr. Max. First, all we need to understand, what is the range of the espresso? The single shot, how many grams are we supposed to put for coffee? Many, or basically we say a single shot has to be between 7 grams to 14 grams, and a double shot has to be between 15 grams to 20 grams of coffee, and the yield has to be multiplied by 2. If I use 14 grams, that basically means the yield has to be between 28 to roughly 30. Yeah, 30 is a maximum for a single shot. And a double shot, if I use 18 grams, the yield has to be 36 or 37 or 38, depending on the kind of coffee. Remember, coffee is really unpredictable. It can be nice at 31, 32, 33, depending on the levels of acidity, the levels of the taste, the body, all that determine your extraction. Then it comes to also the calibration that you use when it comes to to these espressos. So 36 is very, very nice. That's just in case you use either 17, 18, or even 19 grams of coffee. I believe I've answered that question, Mr. Max B. Then the other question, this is not a question, it's just a comment. You're a good teacher. I understand everything. Much love from Nepal. Yeah, much. Thank you, Mr. Pemba Tamaga. Then someone is called Young Glitch. Young Glitch then says here, then bro, please, what is the difference between espresso and cortado? So basically, an espresso is an extracted coffee beverage within the use of with the use of pressure. Okay, and basically after extracting it, we serve it directly. It must have a cream on top, and the way how we serve the espresso, we must I think put a glass of water besides it. But a shot of espresso, it's served in a 2-ounce cup. That is the first thing. We use extraction or pressure force, which ranges in 9 bars, and it is extracted between 20 to 30 seconds. These are just the basics. That doesn't mean that your espresso won't be nice at 31, 32, 33, depending on the levels or the range through which your coffee was roasted, until which month you have it, or how many weeks you have it. So then a cortado basically is an espresso based beverage. whereby it is served between 5 oz to 6 oz cup. We first put a shot of espresso, then we steam our milk. We put very, very little froth while you are steaming it, then we get to serve it. So it sits between into a 5 to 6 oz cup. So espresso doesn't have milk, but just in case you want to add milk, it's up to you. That is not an espresso, it's another beverage that you've created. Then Cortado has milk in it, it has less froth, and it also has what? And it also has a shot of espresso, but it sits between. Someone is going to tell you that it can also sit in a 4 oz cup, depending on the strength. Yeah, 4 oz cup, depending on the strength. So espresso sits in a 2 oz cup, and a Cortado, you can easily serve it between 4 oz or 5 oz. Then the other question, I think I've answered Mr. Glitch Young. The other comment, I think this is not a comment, this is from Barista Real. He says, been a long time not visiting your channel. I've been missing morning shift. Nice one, bro, keep up. And one thing, you are gaining weight. That's right, Mr. Real, I'm gaining weight, but I'm going to cut it. Then Mr. Emmanuel Munyaneza says, oh, I got a lesson. Okay, I think that's from one of the videos. Then Mr. Kato Chanda says, thank you so much, brother, for the lesson. I myself really appreciate the things you share with us, and of which sometimes they are new to me. All I can say is blessings, and please don't stop. Trust me, I won't stop. Yeah, today is just a day for reading some comments and responding to the different questions that I will receive. Then someone says, BJ Panchu, hi, I'm new here, nice to see your video, but I don't understand. What I don't understand is why you divided 200, okay, why you divided 283 by 17. And my question is, where does the number 17 come from? Now, there are those metrics that we follow while we are calibrating our coffee. And the matrix basically means that what ratios are we using? You get my point, Mr. BJ Pancho. What is the grammage that we use when it comes to the coffee? Sorry, I was diverted to some message. So within the ratios, we have a standard ratio, which is 1 to 15. Most of the baristas use 1 to 15, but I love using 1 to 16.6666. But the standard is 1 to 15. So the 283, that was the grammage of the water. And I was looking for what amount of coffee am I supposed to use. You get it? So the 283 was the amount of water, and the 17, I used it as a ratio of 1 to 17 because the customer wanted, my client wanted a strong coffee. That's why I got to divide 283 divide by 17 to get what amount of coffee I was looking for. So Mr. Pancho, welcome to our family. Hope you subscribed, and just in case you're new here, please also make it a point to subscribe. Then we go to Mr. James Ronze, thank you so much, boss, beautiful. Then we go to Sarundo G. Stevens, Barista Andrea. All right, bro, we shall keep in touch, okay? Miss Memunatsu Sila, thanks very much, bro. Please, can I get great recipe for hot caramel latte and flat white? All right, caramel latte first. It depends. Are you using a syrup or are you using a sauce? You get my point. Remember, when you're creating a recipe, there are things that we are looking for. We are looking for a balance in the taste. If caramel is sweet, milk is not sweet. Milk has fats, but caramel doesn't have fats. When I'm making the hot, remember I'm going to add a shot of espresso. The flavors that are within the espresso, do they balance with the caramel? Do they balance with the milk? You get the point. And what is the level of the cup? Are you using 8 O's, 9 O's, 10 O's, 6 O's? Because remember, the weight or the quantity of the beverage that you're trying to deal with also matters. So we look for the balance. One is going to say, I'll use 5 pumps because I love my caramel sweet. So when I use the 5 pumps, if I put the shot of espresso, is it going to decrease in the strength, or is it still going to hyper over the what? Over the caramel. Then the flat white recipe, most of the people serve it within between a range of 5 to 6 O's. It has a shot of espresso. It can either be single shot or double shot of espresso. Then we put milk in it and a little froth. A little froth. So you serve it in that cup, 5 to 6 O's. And mind you, please serve it in, it's like a latte, but it's a small latte. A latte can sit in a 8 O's cup, and the flat white is going to sit in a 6 or 5 O's cup. So let's get to the other question. I think I've responded to Mr. Silla. Then Sarondoji Stevens says, hi bro, how are you doing today? Thanks so much for the lessons. I used to watch all your videos when you are teaching, man, but now Zinyambyenyo is trying to say that the lessons have been helpful. You are the best, my bro. But in Jagala Kwesi Saudi, the person who wants to meet me in Saudi. Then Kahunde Irene, who is also watching this video for the 10th time. Wow, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Munyaneza, here comes again. Emmanuel, please tell me about hot chocolate. I think I've responded to the other one was caramel. Now, hot chocolate, is it okay to steam milk together with the chocolate and also other flavored coffee like Spanish? Now, it depends. How is the creation of your recipe? Are you using chocolate bars or are you using chocolate syrup? Chocolate sauce. It's not a syrup. When you use chocolate sauce, I believe that you can first place the chocolate sauce into your cup, mix it with the hot water, and then after steam the milk, you can steam a cafe latte like a steam whereby it's hot and it has a very small froth, and mix it within your chocolate sauce. But if I'm using a chocolate bar, of course I'll put the chocolate bar into the milk, then steam it together. But that depends on the kind of recipe. Then with other flavors, I like putting my shot of espresso first in the cup, then I steam the Spanish or Zaffarano all alone. After I blend it into the espresso, because I love the garnish. Garnish is very important when it comes to this industry. So I'm going to create a very perfect latte art when it comes to that. Then Barista David says, morning shift is a rush shift. Also depending on the day, people need their coffees as soon as possible because they need something to run while they're going to work, so they need something very, very fast. He was just creating a suggestion. Then Rose James says, Barista Andrea, appreciate you. You really inspired me, Bambi. Oh, thank you very much. You're really amazing, brother. You inspire me. All those. This is Samara Fahad, one of my fellow baristas. Then we go to our brother Lou. Thank you for the great work. Ahmed Sabet, thank you. It's awesome. Then Prince Omar Bashir, thank you a lot. Musomesa basically means teacher in my language. Mohammed Saraj, how about latte cup, bro? I think it's asking for the size of the latte cup. You can easily serve it between a range of 8 to 12 O's, but that basically depends. 8 you can put a single shot, 12 you can put a double shot, 12 O's. Okay, this is exactly what I was looking for. Then one says, man, way uneasy search. So this person was basically, this is Wraith. She was searching for how to make a shot of espresso without using an espresso machine, and I created an immersion espresso, which I liked, though many people questioned it, but trust me, it was really nice and tasty. Then Nanyondo Esther says, thanks my dear. Ali Vlogs Cafe says, brother, Tampa, how much kg do we need to tamp the coffee? Sometimes it depends. When we are tapping, remember we create a 90 degrees angle when we are tapping. So this is the 90 degrees that we look for. So when I am tapping, basically that means I have to use very little weight, because remember the density also matters with your coffee. Sometimes you're going to have a coffee that has a high density, and sometimes you're going to have a coffee that has a low density. So the amount of pressure, you personally, you have to gauge it. When I was still in Protea, one of my trainers called Mr. Strada told me that I use too much energy while I am tamping. He put his hand and I tamped on his arm, and he told me that is too much force. So get a person, try out that technique. If the person tells you you're using too much energy to tamp my hand, then I believe you need to estimate how much temperature, how much weight you are supposed to place onto the coffee. Then I want to make lattes at home, and I saw a video how to make. Okay, this is Bianca Masquerade. Yeah, she was trying to search for how to make coffee, and she fell on this video. Okay, then as Mr. Lucia Muzilatif says, wow, he was appreciating the video of the Spanish latte. Then Chama Gero Claire, hi brother, thanks for the update. I would like to know the in and out used in the cold saffron latte, as in the ml. So I think this person is trying to ask for the mils or the grammage of the espresso that we're supposed to use, or the right amount of the milk. How do you make your saffron? So saffron is really complicated. Some of us use sauce and some of us use those saffron leaves. So it depends. If I'm to use sauce, what is the amount, or what is the ounce of the glass that I'm trying to use? So if I'm to use that ounce, I'm going to first get the saffron sauce. I place it into my cup. Then I put a certain amount of milk. I mix it. So if I test it and I feel that it's low sweet, medium sweet, or high sweetness, then I'll get to determine, should I add milk or should I reduce the milk? Should I add sauce or should I not add the sauce? But remember, we are going to put ice. Ice is going to melt. When it melts, it's going to dilute our liquid. And remember, we are also going to add in a shot of espresso. All those are factors that determine the saffron. Then let's get to another question. Hello, my friend. I think I can't read Arabic. Then one asks, please, the mocha pot is used to brew which type of coffee? All right, basically, the mocha pot is either used to brew, a mocha pot is used to brew a mocha coffee, but it can either brew an espresso or black coffee, depending on what you are looking for. So after that, I think I'm almost closing off this. Then nice sharing. That is Minash Media. Then Imo Balu, from where can I buy this machine? I think you need to relocate, or you need to allocate coffee shop warehouses. You are going to find most of those machines depending on which country you're in. Then Obitri says thanks. Adimas says, man, thank you so much for being authentic. I will chew a freshly roasted bean, because basically this was a topic whereby we are trying to look for the density of the coffee bean. When you chew a coffee bean and it's very hard, that means that the coffee bean it has a heavy density. But if it's light and you're just crushing it, enjoying it, then basically that means the coffee bean has a light density. So I think those are some of the comments. Man, thank you so much for being authentic. Wow, that is Adimas. Levi Safari, wow, I salute you. Then Jeremiah says, me too, I was confused before. If not this bro that shared his opinion. Alright, so the bro who shared his opinion is called Mr. Victor. Well, as a barista myself, a good coffee dose should be within a range of 18 to 20. Believe me, if you dose 15, it's not going to be perfect one. I'm not teaching you your job, but as a teacher, he could have easily used barista mode to adjust the range of this dose. 15 isn't the perfect one. Yeah, everyone has an opinion towards what we teach, but remember, basics are also vital, because through the basics we create different recipes. So 15 is the starting point, but most of us don't know how to adjust our grinders. So If I start with a 15, however much I'm supposed to serve, 18. When I take to the coarse side, the coffee expands and the grammage increases. But when I take to the fine side, the coffee contracts and the grammage reduces. Remember that. So when I'm calibrating, I have to also mind the basic. At 15, I look at the flow. 17, how does it test? 18, how does it test? 19, how is the flow? All those are factors that determine the calibration. So basically, I'm here to teach you the basics through which you are supposed to research and get to see what suits your coffee shop. Then Katerega says, following all the videos are amazing work. Thank you very much, Mami G. What if I'm fasting? Now, what if I'm fasting? It was a calibration video. When you're fasting, you need to understand some of the things that we use all the senses. We use the temperature, the skin, or the palate that tastes the temperature. We use our nostrils to smell. Me, I can easily smell a coffee and I'm like, no, that coffee needs recalibration because it's not good. Then we also look at something else. The hearing. How does the machine extract the coffee? Is it shouting? Does it need service? All those are predeterminants of how you can easily calibrate. So even if you're fasting, just smell the coffee. Listen to how the machine extracts. Then it's going to tell you the daily process through which you extract your espresso, and you will determine then how to make different flavor coffees without artificial flavor. I think basically that means that which garden did they make your coffee from? The garden also determines the varieties of coffee that or the flavors. It determines the flavors of which your coffee attains. So I think those are some of the comments. Hi, the last one. Hi, if I will use brewed coffee. Okay, someone is asking, this is VAT. He's saying, if I use brewed coffee, how many mils of brewed coffee and milk will be used in Spanish latte? Now, when you use brewed coffee, that basically means you are trying to make a Vietnam coffee, Spanish coffee, no, Vietnam's coffee. You use condensed milk and you use a V60 to do what? To add into the ice and the mixed recipe of the milk and the condensed milk. So when you use the V60, that is a Vietnamese coffee, that is not Spanish latte. So I believe those are some of the answers to the responses from the comments and the questions that you have been forwarding to me. Just in case you have any other question, I think every end of the month I'll be coming back to explain or to respond to some of these comments. So just in case you are new here, make it a point to subscribe and see you in another video. Much love.